Hey, what's going on guys? It's Declan here from TNR, and today I will be continuing my James Bond collection review by continuing on with the second movie of the franchise, From Russia with Love. This film came out in 1963 and stars Sean Connery. So let's get back into the review of the whole franchise. So, From Russia with Love, like I say, came out in 1963 and it was a great movie, big success, great sequel to Dr. No, which I reviewed last time. Go check it out if you haven't. So I'm going to go through a few notes. So basically, the story is that Bond needs to steal this sort of Soviet decoding device before Spectre, who obviously becomes a big running theme throughout the whole franchise of Bond, before Spectre wants to steal it. And with that gets mixed in with an assassination plot, and also gets mixed in with another great Bond girl named Tatiana, who is a Soviet sort of what you call it, kind of like a Soviet worker, I suppose, Soviet employee of the Soviet government, who are actually quite corrupt, as we find out. But everything in Bond's corrupt. That's just the way it works. So, getting into that, I want to start off with great visuals. This movie really upped the ante from Doctor No, and there's only a year between them. But the action scenes looked quite a bit better than Doctor No, I thought. Great to watch, really visually stunning, and I imagine at the time it would have been amazing, because obviously now they don't really hold up, but back then, fantastic. And if I can think they're great, then I'm pretty sure anybody else will, especially because it came out in 1963, which is 50 odd years now, and I think that's quite incredible. That really holds up the test of time there. So yeah, the visuals were great, and I'm mainly talking about the car and boat scenes. I mean, when they're on green screen, but you know what I mean. Amazing action. I mean, the train scene. It's so long, but so good. It is such a great scene. And just the action, the train fight, like, it's so brutal, hand-to-hand combat. Gotta love it. And also, there's a scene at the end with the boats where he's being chased by the Coast Guard in Istanbul, I think it is. Great scene. I love it. And I just love how he chucks all the barrels out the back, and it's great. And the way it kind of looks like a blunderbuss that he uses, and it's fantastic. It was really good. And another great Bond girl in Tatiana, she was great, and I really like the fact that this was her mission to actually get in with Bond and actually follow his orders from the Soviets, because all other Bond girls normally get thrown in with Bond as the story goes on, as the action ensues. However, in this one, she is sent by the Soviet government to Bond to actually try and get some information from him. And that was great. I really enjoyed that. And actually, at the end, you'll see what happens. I'm not going to spoil it, but at the end, she has a turn. So it's really good. And I really enjoyed her. I thought she was a great Bond girl. And just like I said in the last movie, Sean Connery just kills it. He's just so good as Bond. He's so cool, and he's so suave, and he knows how to do it. He knows how to play it cool, and it's just so fantastic to see him walking around. It's the facial expressions he does that always gets me. He's just so great. He's fantastic, and I really want to see him just play Bond one more time. Like, I know he's like 80 odd now, but I really want to see him. Because, as we saw in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which, by the way, Indiana Jones is one of my favourite movie franchises, and The Last Crusade is actually my favourite film in the franchise. But in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, we can see he can still act, and he's like 60 in that. So, But anyway, Sean Connery, like I said, brilliant guy. Great in the film. Can't wait to watch Goldfinger soon, because I just want to see him, and I've heard Goldfinger's amazing. So, finally, great story. Now, I've mentioned the story, but it's the way there's kind of three different story threads plunged into one. So you start off with Bond needing to get a Soviet decoding device before Spectre can get their hands on it, and that introduces Spectre into the Bond universe, and it was great to see that form. And also the way they are kind of mixed in with the Soviets, I love that. Also, the way it mixes in with Tatiana, because, the Soviets, who are trying to get this decoding device back, are using Tatiana to sort of manipulate Bond and to turn him in ways that he would not normally go, and to throw him off the scent, and that was great. It really worked well with that first plot. And the assassination plot too was a bit more smaller, but it worked anyway. And you know, it wasn't the best, but it worked okay. I could deal with it. It was fine. So that is my review for From Russia with Love. This movie was actually, I think, better than Doctor No, because this film had more good points than bad points, whereas Doctor No didn't really have a good villain in my opinion, whereas this one, you know, introducing Spectre was a great choice, and it definitely didn't disappoint me in any way. Great film. So thank you guys for watching. Give it a like if you did, it'll help us out a lot, and I'll see you guys on the next video from TNR. Thank you.